Happy Easter! I thought I would come on today and just wish everyone a happy Easter. This is not a conventional Easter where we're able to spend time with our family. I know I'm not going to be able to see my parents or my siblings today, and it's quite sad, but at least I have my house full of my little favorite people. Rocco's not here right now. He's with Benson. They had to step out for a minute, but Angelina, who's actually she'll be 11 on Tuesday. She's gonna be celebrating it quarantine style, unfortunately, but we'll still do something special. She's requested ribs to be made on her special day because that's her favorite. So we'll be cooking ribs. Maybe we'll show you a video on how to do those. And then who are you? You're Vincenzo and Dominic. And Angelina thought that they should be still dressed in their Easter best today. I got them these outfits about a month ago without knowing the quarantine would be in effect. But hey, it's Easter. It's still a reason to celebrate. Our God is risen. It's the ultimate day, in my opinion, to celebrate. So we are going to be making a beautiful dinner today, even though it's just us. We're going to be grilling some steaks and breaded cauliflower. And what else? Roasted potato. And the kids wanted to make an apple pie. So I got the apples and the ingredients the other day, and we'll be making that today. So I guess we can get started, and I will post the ingredient list, I guess, in the comments or in the video notes. But we're going to start with 5 cups of flour. It's okay. Those are just my notes, sweetie. No, it's okay. These are just... Okay, I wrote my notes down here, but obviously I'm not. This is just like...
No. They get a second. Pause the video if you need to. Wait.
No, those are not even good notes. It's just out of order. It's okay. Okay, if you want to show...
But still, this is all the things you need.
Okay.
It's probably backwards.
It's backwards.
It's okay, Vincenzo.
Well, read backwards if you can.
Okay, so let's get started. So we have this awesome peeler core...
Peeler!
What is this called? The peeler core... I don't know. It takes all the skin off. The kids love to do it, and it honestly makes it in a snap. So you
It's
just
a
go...
spring.
Yeah, it's like a spring.
Wait, watch. Look at it.
And it is awesome. It is so fun. Okay. Oh yeah, and you take the core off.
Look
Oh,
at
yeah.
that. There's nothing
That's
left.
the core, and what do we do with the cores?
Give them
Give
to
them
the
to our
bunnies.
bunnies. Give them to our bunnies
They're
because
out
they
there.
love them. So cut that in half. Yep. Okay, let's get the next one going so this doesn't take
Come
all
on,
day.
kids.
Okay, so throw them in that other... No. It doesn't go in here. This is where my flour is. So these ones have a little bit of flour. Flour on them, but that's okay. So those ones go in this bowl.
Oh.
It's okay, you didn't know.
I want this.
No, okay, so... Oh my gosh. Okay, so in this cup, this bowl, I am starting with 5 cups of flour. My favorite flour is...
And a little bit of apple.
Yeah, that was a side note. My favorite flour is the 5 Roses brand flour. It can be found at Vincent Joe's. And I buy it in 44-pound bags at a time because I'm always baking or making something.
5 roses.
5 Roses, yeah.
Roses.
Okay, so the next apple's going. Okay, Vincenzo,
Calm
don't do that.
down.
Okay, so 5 cups of flour go in here. And we're gonna add, I already measured it, 1 cup of Crisco. And I want to say thank you to my fabulous
Crisco.
neighbors, Donnie and Mike. They went and got me the Crisco the other day because I made an apple pie the other day too, and I needed Crisco, and they were going to the grocery store, and they were nice enough to get it for me. So thank you, Donnie and Mike. And then I have 2.5 sticks of butter cut up, and this is room temperature. I know that sounds like a lot of butter, but I'm making a giant, like 9 by 11 sheet, 9 by 11 sheet of apple pie. It's not really a sheet. What's the word I'm thinking of? I don't know. 9 by 11.
Pan?
So it's a huge, 9 by 11 pan. There you go. So let's make it not just this is not a typical little pie. This is a big one. So put all that in there.
I can eat it all one time.
No. And then I have a pastry blender. This is just a basic, you guys stop. This is just a basic tool. If you don't have one of these, you can use 2 forks. I think there's also a method where you can make it in your food processor. I've never done that. Okay, all these apples need to be done, so get to work. Angelina, stop. Okay, So you just mix it, and it's just incorporating all the butter and Crisco into the flour. And you want it just to make it look like crumbs.
What do you mean crumbs? What else did you put in there?
It's just flour, butter, and Crisco at this point. So it's just incorporating, and it kind of gets like stuck to the pastry blender. Just kind of take your finger. It's a little bit sharp, so be careful. And just
Do the monster mash.
push it. It is the monster mash. You just kind of keep going. How are the apples coming?
Kind of good, not really.
Okay.
No. I didn't do one yet.
I didn't either.
Okay, come on. We got to do all the apples. Dominic, move out of the way.
Stop. This one's mine.
This is not really the best bowl to be making this in. As you know, this is just like a temporary house we're living in, so I don't have all my kitchen gadgets and everything here. It'd be better to make this in more like a shallower, wider bowl, because it's kind of hard to get all the stuff at the bottom. Okay, so all the butter and Crisco is incorporated. Oh, we don't need that, honey. Put that back. So all the butter and Crisco is kind of incorporated in there, and there's like just it's just chunky, but there's like pieces of butter and Crisco that are not fully mixed up, but that's okay. So at this point, I need a fork, just a minute. Keep going with the apples, guys.
You cut it in half.
So now I just have about a cup of cold water. Now I don't really know exactly how much it's going to take until I start mixing it, but just add a little bit of water at a time, and you don't need the pastry blender anymore. Now you use a big fork. So you kind of just mix it, and it's going to take a couple of, oh my goodness, this is such a professional video.
Yeah.
But that's what makes it fun. I mean, everything doesn't have to be perfect all the time. My life with kids is not
It's kind of crazy.
It's crazy for
It
sure.
messed up. Look at it.
So I'm gonna need more flour because it's still really,
How is
really
that
dry.
messed up?
So I'm
I'll start
not
with
more
my
flour,
mom.
more water.
It all started with my mom and my dad. And they had us. Hi. We're kids. And we're kind of crazy.
Wait.
Kind of.
Yeah. Kind of.
I think you're the craziest kids that ever lived.
Not really.
Yes.
No.
So
Why does it keep
did the
moving
Easter
like
Bunny
that?
come today, guys?
Yes.
No. I mean, yeah.
Yes, he did.
No. This is so good.
So I used most of the water. Here's the rest, and it's beginning to sort of form into a ball. It's just kind of hard. Like I said, this bowl is not really ideal. A shallower one would be better. I'm actually gonna have to put a little bit more water in here.
This thing's broken now. Someone broke it.
You.
And make sure, like I said, make sure the water is cold when you add it in there. Now you don't want it too sticky. It's just gonna be formed into a ball. It's different than the pizza dough consistency that we made last time. This is more of like a biscuit sort of consistency where it's gonna be flaky. That's what the butter and the Crisco
Okay.
do when you cook it. It turns like into that beautiful flaky crust. Okay, how many more apples do we got, guys?
So cutting
Okay,
this
so
thing.
this is looking
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
fantastic.
7 more apples.
7 more apples.
How many do we cut?
12, 20. That broke the
Think.
run. I need the food in it.
It's not
Just
broken.
watch your fingers.
It
guys,
works.
okay? Okay.
Oh, now
So this
it's-
is ready to be dumped onto the counter, and rolled out. So what I do is, first of all, where's my little scraper thing?
Give me it, Mom. Fuck me.
Here, this is a great tool. It's just like a KitchenAid. I think it's called a dough scraper, and it literally like cleans your counter if you need to get anything off of it. There's just some flour that was there, even though I'm adding more flour. Kind of defeats the purpose, but it's okay. So I'm just gonna get a little flour
Woo, long.
and put it here
Okay.
and dump out my dough. So see, it's much different than pizza dough. This is, let me take my ring off because the dough is gonna stick in there. Okay, so kind of just get it in a ball form.
Do the way that you always do it with pizza dough.
Yeah, that's not really kneading it. I'm just kind of gathering it. Don't knead it. You don't need to do that because you want it to be flaky still. So now, come on, get the rest of the apples done, guys. You need all the apples done, okay? So now I have this ball here. Where's that knife? I'm gonna cut it in half because I'm gonna need a lower crust and an upper crust. Now, if you're making like a pumpkin pie, you would only need the lower crust because you're not covering that pumpkin. You would just leave it exposed. Or like an apple crumb cake, but in this in this instance, we're gonna doing a bottom and a top crust.
Okay, wait, that makes sense.
So this is the size pan I'm making my apple pie in. It's huge.
49
It's a Pyrex dish, but it's really, really big and wide. So at this point, you want to add a little bit more flour to your counter because it will stick. Now, a lot of times I use what's it called? Wax paper, and that prevents it from sticking, and it is a good method as well. But this time, I'm just going to roll it right out on the counter because that's what I'm going to do. So I wish I could get the camera in here a little bit better, but
I'll get it.
no, it's okay, guys.
Cameraman.
Oh, okay. So see, I'm gonna be making it into I'm gonna be making it into like a rectangle shape because that's the shape of my pan, and you want it bigger than the that's what the term I've been looking for the whole time, pie dish. So you want it longer and wider than the pie dish because you're gonna want it to hang over the edges so you can make like a decorative crimped edge. So you roll it all the way out here and here. Come on, keep the apples going. We've got to do two things at once, okay? Wider. So it's getting really huge, and make sure it's not sticking to your rolling pin.
Yum.
Because it would be hard to get off. Okay, so this is kind of a tricky spot. This is kind of a tricky moment here. Okay, I wonder if I should do it this way. Okay, so you're gonna fold it in half, the whole sheet. This is really, really big. Now mine kind of stuck to the counter a little bit because I didn't have enough flour underneath there, but yay. I did get it up. So now you kind of just basically unfold it back. Oops, this way. Unfold it back into the tray. Into the dish. So as long as there is enough to hang around the edges, and it doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, I don't work at a bakery. It doesn't have to be super pretty, but it will still be really, really nice.
Buddy, these things are awesome.
So I have like I ripped a little hole in mine for my accident, so I'm gonna rip a piece off and just do a little patchwork. It's okay.
Perfect.
No.
Reasonable. See that?
Okay, get the apples. Are they done?
The rapples?
Apples.
You said rapple. How do you get this mom back?
Push it back. Pull it. Just pull it back. Yeah. Okay, so now that's a beautiful, the bottom crust is in. No food fights. Come on, that's not funny.
Food fight. Apple juice.
Okay.
Does that stuff taste good? Does this stuff taste good?
Yes. So now, are the apples done? Come on,
No, they're not. We still
have
have
5
4
more.
more.
Okay, let me
Hey,
push like that.
come on, Mama Puff.
Okay. Now you have the core stuck in the way. Keep going.
That's what you did to me.
Okay, cut them in half. Get the next
Look
one.
what you did. Voila.
It's beautiful. And some of the apples have a little bit of the skin left, and that's okay. That's fine.
Because the skin is
good.
Yeah. See, I put the stem in this way, so that way it doesn't get clogged in the...
This is so long.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, why is it not cutting now?
Because you didn't put it back in the middle.
What did I do?
Scooch it.
Oh. Well, how did that work? There we go. It's got to be tight.
Hold it.
Oh, this one's not working. Malfunction. Hold on, back up.
No, mommy, squash. Take the apple off.
Okay, you finish that up. Okay, so in the meantime, we are going to be putting a little bit of lemon juice on the apples because
we chug that stuff.
my boys love lemon juice. I don't know why. So just
We
sprinkle,
chug it.
sprinkle some lemon juice on the apples, just to prevent them from turning brown.
Lemon juice.
All right, let's do like 2
Lemon
more
juice.
apples. Come on, let me wash my hands.
Well, someone had to mess up this apple. Can I just keep the core in it?
I love these apples.
Okay, so are they ready? Come on, how many more do we have
No,
left?
they're not. You messed this one up. You need like 5 more.
Okay, they're going.
Where are you gonna put this? What are you gonna put this video on? Facebook?
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it on Facebook. So now,
Yeah.
oh, I guess we can do this. Did you cut yourself?
Ay, Falupa.
Okay, go get a Band-Aid. We had a little injury on
She's fine.
Angelina's end.
He's fine.
She's fine.
Okay, Last one.
Nobody says go sit down. Nobody says go sit down.
Yeah.
Trying to clean the floor. Trying to clean your floor.
She's probably gonna see this, Winnie.
A nice.
So, okay, I think that should be enough apples. I have 5 pounds of
Mm.
Granny Smith. Granny Smith are the very tart apple, and it holds up well.
Granny
during baking.
Smith.
Granny Smith, yep. What about Nona Smith? What about Nona Janina? Nona Janina apples? Okay. So all the apples are in here, about 5 pounds worth. And I just read this really good tip the other day, and it was an amazing one, I thought. So
It feels
vanilla
It doesn't feel
is
5
a
pounds.
great sweetener. So I'm going to take pure vanilla. Don't buy the imitation extract. That's garbage. I'll just do like 2
Can
cups.
I go weigh that on the scale to see if it's 5 pounds?
Okay, so that goes in there. And then we're gonna add the sugar. So I'm gonna probably do, what does my recipe say here? 1.5 cups, so 3 cups of sugar. Now I know again that sounds like a lot, but it's a lot of apples. My mom uses brown sugar. But I
Type
don't.
this in there.
So, okay. It doesn't have to be like
Type
exact.
this in there.
Yeah, sprinkle some on there. I'd probably say a couple tablespoons. Get the other side.
Slice my finger open, but that's all good.
Probably more. Squeeze it so it like. Oh, okay.
Yum.
Holy.
The more the
I
merrier.
think we might need more wood because that wasn't. Oh, look at this! Look at that big pipe. Cut that piece up, sweetie.
I can't. I already sliced my finger open.
I'll cut.
Just cut it in like little pieces. Now this is heavenly. I mean, honestly, cinnamon, sugar, and apples and vanilla.
I
It's the best flavor ever. Thank you, buddy. Okay. This is another big chunk. Cut that one up.
Big chunk. I want a little piece. I want a little piece.
Yes. It's too hard to resist. Mmm.
Down the block of the camera.
Okay, come on.
No.
I say a little bit more cinnamon.
a little too much lemon juice.
No, the apples are really tart, but the sugar is what makes it so great.
Oh.
Okay, so all of those are in there.
Not yet.
No, don't put that piece in. That was part of the core. Okay, so you got all that in there. And then I add a little bit of
Apples are awesome.
About a quarter cup of flour. And that just
Oh, so no, don't put as much because remember I already got some flour.
yeah, so that just kind of thickens the sugar as it melts. It's not going to be like sometimes when you cut into an apple pie, it's like super runny. The flour helps thicken it, and it doesn't get as runny when you cut it.
Thick.
I like them thick. Okay,
So
so now you dump the. Oh, can you get me another stick of butter out of the fridge? So now you just dump the apples in.
what's this stick of butter for?
You gotta put little pieces in here.
Oh.
So now all the apples are in the bottom crust.
You're gonna have to put this in the microwave because it's ice cold.
No, it's okay. I don't need to incorporate into anything. So then you take another stick of butter. You're not gonna use the whole thing, don't worry. And it's not like we eat apple pie every day. And let's face it, the pies at the store you buy are garbage. I mean, unless you're getting like an Ackett's or a Grand Traverse pie.
They're pretty good.
Those pies are actually pretty good, but they're
It's
like
still expensive.
$18, yeah. So this whole pie probably only costs maybe $5 to make it.
Well, yeah,
And
because
it
you get all the
feeds
ingredients.
a lot of people. So just take these pats of butter and throw them. That way when the pie bakes.
The apples are about how much is the apples?
I feel like we could have used
Melt.
a couple more apples in here because I like it like really heaping, but
Want me to
whatever.
cut up these ones?
No, because now I already have the sugar on them.
Last time she made the pie, it was gone too fast, so I told her to make a bigger one because I ate 2 pieces.
Yeah. So now get this counter clean. Yeah, we gotta put the top crust on now. So let me clean off my counter again. Even though you should see my kitchen right now. I mean, I'm stepping on pieces of apples. It's fantastic. Let me tell you.
It's delicious.
So now you get that second piece of dough that we didn't roll out yet. Kind of just get it flour on all the
If you
sides.
want a good
Don't
apple
eat-
skin,
Don't eat the
put
dough.
Vinny, if you want a good apple skin, watch out, Vinny, you're in the camera.
So what do you guys like to do on Easter? Typically, I host Easter because it's always near my daughter's birthday. And sadly, like I mentioned earlier, I mean, as you all know, we can't get together this year. So I usually have Easter at my house with all of my family over, both sides, and it's always a great celebration.
But this year we can't eat. Still, we couldn't have an Easter here because small house.
Yeah, we can't. Yeah, plus it's quarantine, so we can't have any
No,
family.
what if it was the quarantine?
We usually have all the summer holidays because at our old house we had a covered patio.
Yes. So we'll be having holidays again soon.
In our new house.
We pray that the quarantine is lifted soon. We of course want everyone to be healthy and safe,
My piece is back in.
but selfishly we want everything to be
Put
back
put some
open.
of that in
But
it.
we have to wait until President Trump says all open. Okay, so see how huge this is? It's huge. I made this one a little bit wider and bigger because it's going to be going over the top.
Apple skin?
So again, fold it into a square,
Dom,
and then just basically unfold it back
Dom,
on
if you
top.
have good apple skins,
See how pretty that looks? So now you have the top and the bottom, and then at this point, I just tuck both around.
pretty good.
Vincenzo
Oh, that can
or
kill
Dominic,
you.
honey, can you get out the
Can make you choke.
half and half, please?
Look at what he did
Where?
to
The
these skins.
Yes.
Look at what he did to the skins, Mom.
Oh my goodness, those are not going to be good to eat.
That's what I said.
Okay, so see, I'm just rolling it all around.
This half and half.
And this is going to be making the
gonna
crust.
make you
And it's going to
Oh,
puff,
seal it all in.
No fun.
Look at how pretty. And then now I just kind of go around and crimp the edges.
There
I
you
just
go.
do like a, I don't know how to describe it. It just makes a pretty decorative edge.
Ooh.
How does that look, Dominic? Fancy?
Vinny.
Oh, you're Vinny. I'm sorry. Even I get my twins mixed up.
Oh, this.
They're super identical. And
They
they're,
are
at all.
and they're my cute little loves in my life.
They're
What
not
ants?
identical.
They're identical.
What about Ange?
Yeah.
So look at how perfect that looks. Yeah, you're all the loves in my life.
What about Daddy?
Of course.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep, Daddy, Mom. Well, Daddy, Rocco.
Rocco.
Of course. So then I put a little bit of half and half on here, and I kind of just let it go like into all the nooks
What?
and crannies. Yeah. This is just gonna make like a really pretty
Shiny
Finish.
top.
shiny top. Yep, it's gonna be so
You're getting
pretty.
your bracelet in it.
Oh, that's okay.
Awesome. I like the
So-
bracelet taste.
Oh, you like the bracelet taste?
Iron.
So now,
Pure iron. If you're bleeding, put it on the pie and it'll make it
okay.
like
So bring the camera over to this way.
Woohoo! Fixing me blowout.
Ooh, fix me blowout.
So then I
Ooh,
take,
fix me blowout.
You have to hold this like that.
So then, look at how nice it looks. Then I just take my sugar and shake a little bit on the crust.
A little bit?
Yeah.
Don't let them see the price.
Of what?
The price is on the bottom of the sugar.
Oh, that's okay.
Aww.
And then I can just, normally I make an A, but today I'll make these are just little vent holes so it doesn't bubble too much. I'll make a cross because it's Easter. How about that?
And I don't know.
Okay, so now we are going to lift the camera up a little bit. So now we are going to lift up, I'll go this way. Now we're going to put this on a cookie sheet lined with foil because it's going to bubble over, and if you don't put it on a cookie sheet, you're going to get a mess
Put
in
the
the bottom
foil
of your
around the
oven.
crust.
And yeah, you can put foil around the crust to prevent the edges from burning.
Stick it on the
A
crust.
pie this size, I mean, this probably weighs 8 pounds. It probably is going to take about 45 minutes to cook. So
I'm gonna stuff you all in the crust.
yeah, you're going to stuff what's in the crust. So that's all. Now the camera's kind of out of focus, but I will pause the video and do a time lapse, and you'll see it opened up,
Wait.
cut into in just a short while.
Wait.
Okay, press pause, sweetie.
Goodbye. Until next time.